Hey everybody, welcome back to The Stuff of Legend. My name is D'Lo and I've got another video for you guys. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a very fun, special fan casting video that I have been waiting to do for some time now. I'm really excited. We are going to be covering the DCEU. Let me see if I can get this thing to get going. There we go. DCEU Batman fan casting for Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I've got a lot of fun picks for you guys. So let's get right into this. So I'm going to be showing you guys my top 5. I have basically 6 castings that I really like, and then 4 that are additional to that as bonus picks. So stay until the end to see those as well. And as we go through these things, just let me know what you guys think about these fan castings. If you like them, if you dislike them, which one's your favorite? Which ones do you think suck? I want to hear from you guys. And so again, let me lay out the kind of ground rules for why I picked these ones. My Batgirl for the DCEU, relative to the age of what I expect Dick Grayson's Nightwing is going to be, based on the approximate age of DCEU Batman, which would be approximately 42 to 45 years of age. So then Dick Grayson would probably be somewhere between 22 and 35, depending on how big the gap you want there to be between Batman and Dick Grayson. And then also Batgirl should be approximately the same age as Dick Grayson in this universe. So I would estimate probably again 22 to 35 years of age. So that's where I'm placing my my Batgirl actresses. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So first up, Barbara Gordon. As you guys can see, she has been played by Sarah Hyland in the Lego DC Comics superhero Justice League, Gotham City Breakout. Lots of voice actors for Barbara Gordon. There's Dinah Meyer in Birds of Prey, the old Birds of Prey, not the upcoming planned DCEU Birds of Prey. Yvonne Craig played her in Batman. And then Melinda McGraw in The Dark Knight. She played the mom Barbara Gordon, not the Batgirl Barbara Gordon. So she played the wife of Jim Gordon. So anyway, now you guys are familiar with some of these actors. That's not an exhaustive list, but I'm going to show you guys the people that I am casting. So let's jump right in. Sweet. So the first up on my list is Katherine Mcnamara, or Katherine Mcnamara. I don't know how to say it exactly, but she is 5'5", 23 years of age. So she's a moderate height for a lady, for a girl. Actually kind of short, kind of on the shorter end, but not super short. 5'5" is pretty normal, I would say. And 23 years old is young, but she can play someone that is closer to, say, like 29, or even younger if you wanted to go a little bit younger. She's kind of in this ambiguous age range where she... a lot of her images, like her pictures and headshots, look a lot older, and some of them look way, way younger, even though they are quite recent. And so she is most known for Shadowhunters. She's most known for being in The Maze Runner. She's had a few other movies and TV shows, but I'll show you guys some of the images that I found that I thought were really cool and convincing. So a lot of people have been seeing her the same way that I have, that she would be a good pick for Batgirl. Because of eye color, her dyed hair color is very similar to the comic book Batgirl. Here we have her. She actually did, cosplay or Halloween costume as Batgirl in the past, and I think that's where a lot of people got the idea of her as Batgirl. Also because of just her red hair, general appearance, she does look like someone who could and would play Batgirl in a live-action format. A lot of people have taken these images of her in her costume and kind of cross-reference them to show as someone that would be playing that role. I think that it's very good. I think that she's a decent actor. She's a pretty good actress. She's not the best in the world, but I think that she is definitely good enough to get the job done. She's no stranger to action, and I think it would be a lot of fun to have her on there. I think she would be a good look and a good fit for the character. So I'll recap her stats. 5'5", 23 years of age is Katherine Mcnamara. All right, so let's get to the next one. Next on my list, Madeleine Petsch, if that's how you say it. 5'6", 24 years of age. So she's 1 inch taller than Katherine Mcnamara, and she is 1 year older. So a little bit taller, a little bit older. And she, again, has very, very fair skin. Basically pale. Basically totally, totally white. Which I think is a little bit of a visual difference than, say, the Barbara Gordon that we know in the comics is a little bit more normal skin. I guess sort of like mine. I don't know, like some sort of like a pinkish kind of orangey tint, like a hybrid tint, depending on which comic you're reading. But it's not that big a deal. She could probably just go outside for 12 minutes and get darker than she is. Anyway, Riverdale, F the Prom, The Curse of Sleeping Beauty, Polaroid. She's been in a lot of different things. Most people know her from Riverdale on CW, but the images for her are not very much. There's not a lot of casting images for her. There is some just side-by-side image comparisons. This one as well. I think on the right, that's Emma Stone, if I'm not mistaken. But you can see, obviously, she is one of the more common redheaded actresses in the industry right now for a young actress. And she looks, I would say, in the face, not totally like Batgirl, but she's got this kind of neutral face, where it's not like super sharp features and it's not super smooth features either. She kind of has like a bit of a blended facial structure that I think it could work either way. Not my top pick, but I think she would be a good pick. Now, this one's interesting. This was her doing some like go vegan thing where she's kind of dressed as Poison Ivy. And I think that's a pretty epic fan casting. If you're not going to have her as Batgirl, you could have her as Poison Ivy, as a young Poison Ivy. I think that would work extremely well, especially for the way that she plays her character on CW's Riverdale. So I think that's good. And so next, I'm going to show you guys. Oh, wait, sorry. Before I go on, let me recap the stats. So 24 years old and 5'6" puts her 1 year and 1 inch taller and older than Kat McNamara. So third on my list is Anna Kendrick. I love Anna Kendrick for this role, and I'm going to go ahead and explain why I like her so much. So her being in Twilight, her being in Pitch Perfect, in A Simple Favor. She's been in The Accountant with Ben Affleck as well. And when she was campaigning or doing the promo, the tour to try to promote the movie The Accountant, Anna Kendrick was teasing and hinting to Ben Affleck that she wanted to be his Batgirl. And so there was a funny kind of like uncomfortable joking situation where she was in an interview and then Ben Affleck was like, yeah, I don't know. And she was like, no, I totally am going to be your Batgirl. And, now he's on the way out. Or actually he is out totally. And Anna Kendrick is still, I think, most people's favorite actress. I could be wrong about that, but I think she's most people's favorite pick for this, and I'll show you why. So 5'2" makes her really small. She's a really short person, but 33 years old would put her closer to some of the older picks that I have for, say, Nightwing, and I think that would make it that would make her a better bet if you're gonna have an older actor play Nightwing. I can't remember off the top of my head who my top picks were for Nightwing. I think it was probably like Louis Tan or like I don't know. I can't remember who it was, like Finn Wittrock or Bob Morley or like some of those guys that are like a little bit older. I don't remember my entire list, but I think those guys would go a lot better paired up with Anna Kendrick because she is a little bit older and she would be closer to their average age range. So she's a good pick for that. Now, let me go ahead and skip ahead. This is an image of her doing that funny like interview sketch with Anna Kendrick or with Ben Affleck when he was Batman and when the Batman was still being written by Ben Affleck before, all the drama where he was then, taken off as the writer. They went with a different story, different script, and Anna Kendrick was kind of just like, now what, So, but I think it would still be good to get her in there as Batgirl. I think she would crush it. She's an awesome actress. Let me show you guys some of these images. A lot of people have done fan casting art for her. This is a good one right here. This one as well. Kind of cartoonized right there, but you can tell it's her face structure. This one as well. A lot of these are very, very similar. This one right here is a side-by-side comparison, but you can tell it totally works. She has the face shape that a lot of the comic iterations have had. That's the exact same image on the right. Let me see if I could find you guys something new. Here's one with a side-by-side of her from Arkham, and then this one as well from the comic. Yeah, I really like that. This one again showing her and Bryan Cranston. Holy cow, that would be so epic. Oh my gosh, what a powerhouse acting duo that would be. That would be so cool. She could stand to get her own movie there and just have her and Bryan Cranston be that, like, you know, the two co-stars of that film. That'd be super sick. So yeah, that would be really cool. Anyway, so Anna Kendrick is again 5'2". I think that makes her the shortest on my list, or at least tied for the shortest. Oh no, I think I have one more that is shorter than her. So I'll get to who the real shortest person is, but she's tied for the second shortest on my list. But she is 33 years old, putting her at one of the older spots on my list. I think she's the second oldest on my list. Second shortest and second oldest. Perfect. So now let's continue onward. All right, you guys ready? Here comes the next one. Jane Levy. So Jane Levy is 5'2", the same height as Anna Kendrick, but she's also 29 years old, which is somewhere in that middle ground. So she's not the youngest, but she's also not the oldest. She's from Suburgatory, Evil Dead, Don't Breathe, Monster Trucks, and I wanted to show you guys, there's a lot of really good art of her, not only as Batgirl, but as Oracle. So once she has had her back broken, and she ends up being that kind of like love interest to Dick Grayson, and she's secretly helping him out as Oracle from her wheelchair computer station. She's kind of like the Felicity Smoke, but rather Felicity Smoke was technically a recreation of Batgirl Oracle. And they even hinted at that. I can't remember if it was season 4 or 5 or something like that, but they were hinting at it, saying when they were picking her name, they were like, what are we going to call you? And they're like, I was thinking about Oracle, but that's taken. They were referring to her, Batgirl. So anyway, this one, Jane Levy, that's a really good piece of art right there. I really like that one. This is her from one of her films. I can't remember which one this is. But nevertheless, there's a lot of good art. I think this one's Hailee Steinfeld. It says Jane Levy, but oh yeah, I think it is Jane Levy. Okay, cool. It looked like Hailee Steinfeld for a second. This one, Jane Levy, of course. Jane Levy, yeah, she totally 100% looks the part. I think she would be great for the part. It's pretty simple. I think she's just great actress, good look for the role. Yeah, and I think that she would work well with a lot of the actors I picked for Nightwing. And I think that's probably the most important relationship you have to consider if you're going to drop her into the DCEU in relation to the Bat family. That's probably what you want there, is someone who could play well with others. I think she would do that just fine. So, Jane Levy, again, 5'2", 29 years of age. So, oh, it looks like we have a comment. What is your thoughts on Sophie Turner as Batgirl? So Sophie Turner as Batgirl is, in my opinion, a good idea. I don't know if it's the best idea. She's a fantastic actress. Her coming off of Fox or X-Men will mean that she will be available. She's not going to be contractually obligated to stay with Marvel unless they recycle her somehow, or for some reason decide to take the existing X-Men and keep them going in the main continuity of the MCU, which will not happen. It's too convoluted. They'll never do it. But Sophie Turner as Batgirl, I think, could work very nicely. She looks the part, but she doesn't. Her face doesn't look as much like Batgirl as a lot of these other actresses out here, and I think there's a lot of other people that would be just as qualified to play the role of Batgirl. Maybe even more so. Maybe someone that might have a much more playful spirit than what we've seen from Sophie Turner. Sophie Turner is a fantastic powerhouse actress that does serious very, very well. But to have someone that's kind of fun, kind of bubbly, a little bit, sarcastic and stuff like that, I think it would be a little bit better. Or at least someone that we've seen do that. I'm not saying she couldn't do that. We just haven't seen that. So it doesn't bear confidence that she would do the role justice. So those are my thoughts on Sophie Turner. I think that she's an awesome actress. I actually love her as Jean Grey. I think that she is the best Jean Grey we've had so far. And I think that X-Men Dark Phoenix, there's a lot of rumors about it right now. I'm not going to get into that because it's a whole nother video, but I think that Sophie Turner is a good choice. Maybe not the best choice, but she's a good choice. Solid choice. So anyway, let's continue on. So that is Jane Levy, 5'2", 29 years of age. And oh, before I move on, I wanted to show you guys. So Jane Levy, so I almost moved on without showing you guys this. So from comicbook.com, there are articles that refer back and show you guys Jane Levy was actually campaigning for the role. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people started thinking of her for the role, was because she had actually tweeted. I'll go ahead and, like, this is the article, so you can check that out, by Karen Gillan from July 9th, 2018. This is about a year old almost. But I'll go ahead and show you the tweets themselves. So first, Jane Levy had been, when it was still rumored that there was going to be a Birds of Prey film casting soon, someone named Luis J. Otero had tagged her and said, an article in which I once again pitch J. Colburn Levy, which is Jane Levy, as Batgirl. And she's all, cool, I'm down. And she does the, hand emoji, rock on or whatever. So she says she's down, and then later follows up with this. She says, y'all keep asking if I'm going to play Batgirl, and I think it's probably a good idea because I can do a lot of push-ups. And it's joking, but it's also kind of playful and supportive. And of course, her being a younger actress would for sure want to be in a major franchise film that would guarantee her multiple more jobs and a whole lot of money and recognition, which is good. It's probably what you want as an actor. So I think that it would be really good. She looks the part. She's great for the role. And I think that her kind of playing around with this idea, and she's like, I'm totally down, and that kind of thing, that's a really good sign. And Warner Brothers has had a history of paying attention to these fan castings. That's what got Joe Manganiello the role of Deathstroke, or Slade Wilson, in Justice League in the end credit scene. That's what got him there, was Boss Logic's fan art, and a lot of people just promoting it and tweeting about it, and it started trending. And those were things that got Warner Brothers to say, hey, let's just take a look at this. So they do pay attention to these things. So Jane Levy, I would love to see her get that role. So again, last time I'm going to say this, 5'2", 29 years of age. All right. Next on my list is Ashley Greene, another Twilight actress, 32 years old, 5'5". Again, if you guys are like asking, I've never seen Twilight, but what I have seen and played is Arkham Knight. So if you guys are not already, she's from like Staten Island Summer, Twilight, the Twilight Saga, Accident Man, which by the way is epic because Accident Man is with Scott Adkins, who is one of my Batman picks. I'm super all about Scott Adkins Batman. So she's worked with him before. One thing to note about Ashley Greene is that she is this Batgirl. She is Barbara Gordon Batgirl from Arkham Knight. She played Oracle. So when I was referencing earlier other actresses who look like and could play, the Oracle version of Batgirl, Ashley Greene actually was Oracle in the Arkham games. She voiced her, and she's a really good voice actress. She was one of the better parts of the story of Arkham Knight. Obviously, it was a tremendously great game all the way through. It was Spider-Man on PS4 before Spider-Man on PS4. That's what it was. And then they took Arkham Knight and said, you know what? Let's make literally that same game, but in the daytime. And we're going to put Spider-Man in there so you can web swing from anywhere. That's what they did. And so it ended up being an amazing game. Both games are legendary, absolutely epic, best of all time. And Ashley Greene definitely looks the part. She looks like Batgirl. She has the same eyes. It almost looks like they modeled her after her. Ashley Greene looks just like this image of Arkham Knight Batgirl, which she was. She voiced her. And so she's played her as a vocal actor. It looks like they at least modeled her after it. She's no stranger to action films. She's no stranger to like epic like fantasy. She was in Twilight. I think that this actress is she's talented. She's not the most well-known actress of all time, but she is pretty. I think she's got the right size. She's 5'5" and 29 years old. So she's right at the same age as Jane Levy. And she's just at the same height as Kat McNamara. So I think that she's got basically all around, she's pretty much perfect for this role. And so, and she looks a lot like this. She could play that very, very well. Yeah, she's got the look, the big eyes. I think she could totally do it. So that's one that I had there. Let me know what you guys think about her. If you guys are comfortable with her. She's not a vocal actress, really. She just voiced Barbara Gordon in the game. She does a lot of acting in TV and films, but yeah, you probably recognize her most from either Twilight or what was the other one I just said? I just said Accident Man. Yeah, or the Arkham game if you're a gamer. So let me know what you guys think about that. Then you also said here, we have a comment from Hunter Iggy again. It says they're going to reboot the X-Men. So Daniel Loera, Disney said they're going to reboot the X-Men. No, I'll bet they are 100%. I mean, I haven't seen that confirmation that they are in fact going to do it, but there's no way they would not reboot the X-Men. The timeline is way too convoluted. The canon is all messed up. Like, the whole backstory doesn't make any sense. The Fox X-Men was basically constantly trying to repair itself. There's no way that they could ever hope to move forward with all the characters that they would really want to use, because not all the characters they really want to use are in the same continuity timeline. Like, they're either dead or they've been fought off, killed for they've moved on, or like it simply doesn't make sense. So they have to scrap the whole thing. Like, Fox kind of shot themselves in the foot. If they ever wanted the Fox characters to get drafted in, they were really going to have to reboot their franchise before Disney got a hold of it, and then that never happened. So they're kind of stuck. Marvel Disney has to reboot it. It's just the only way that it's going to make sense. Marvel is very strict about keeping their timeline very consistent. There's been very few errors other than like the Spider-Man Homecoming time jump and all that stuff. There's a couple of things that just simply didn't make sense, or they had to reboot an actor or two, but the vast majority of it makes total sense. They're not about to try to include a messed up, convoluted timeline, an entire franchise universe, and try to somehow shove that into the MCU. That it won't work. They're gonna have to try to reboot from the ground up. So James McAvoy said he wanted to play as Riddler. Oh, I hadn't heard that either. That's pretty cool. I also know Stephen Amell from Arrow said he wanted to play the Riddler. That was something he said, I think, last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly, but nevertheless, I'm totally down for that. It sounds good to me. I've got my own list of actors I want to play the Riddler. James McAvoy is not on them, but he would do a good job. No, I don't doubt that at all. So anyway, let me go ahead and recap the stats. Ashley Greene, 5'5", and 32 years of age. So next on the list, we have Hayden Panettiere. She is 5 foot tall, no inches, just 5 foot, and 29 years old. She is tiny. This chick is really, really small. But I do think, she's been on Heroes, I Love You, Beth Cooper, Remember the Titans, Nashville. She is also she's been a top fan cast for Supergirl. And so let me show you guys some of these. So like this is her fan cast as Supergirl. If you look up her name, the old Wonder Woman comes up. I forget what, sorry, I forgot her name. What was her name? I should know this. I just watched one of the original episodes like the other day, so I can't remember. I can't remember her name. It's bothering me so bad. Linda Carter, thank you. So Linda Carter. So here's her. I think this kind of looks more like Black Canary from her Wake Up Call official music video or whatever. But this is her again as Supergirl. I think she would do a really good Supergirl. I think that if they were to cast her as the Supergirl for the movie, that would be a really, really good call. Now, again, there is like no fan art for her as any, sorry, that's kind of not a cool image, but for here, her as Batgirl just simply is not something that a lot of people are talking about. But let's say if we go like, let's do this. Let me see if I can find this. Red hair. There we go. So this one looks a little bit more like she could be Batgirl. Obviously, the red hair is critically important if you're going to be Batgirl. You don't want to be a blonde. You want to have red hair. It's just the way that the comics are. It's the way that it ought to be. And so, yeah, I don't think she looks really good as a redhead because it's like more of a brown kind of auburn. But yeah, I think that she would be fine. So she's really small, and the reason why I thought of her was because she's really, really small, which again would allow you to pick someone that's not super tall for pretty much all of your Robin characters. And that would allow her to kind of like still give them kind of a height advantage or stature so that they could feel more imposing on screen when they're in a team shot or standing next to each other. It would make your Batman feel huge even if he was only 5'10". That kind of stuff goes a long way. So Hayden Panettiere, I think, would be a cool choice. Not the best choice, but a good choice. And you guys should let me know what you guys think about Hayden down below. So let me recap her stats, and she's number 6 on my list. So I have, again, let me just go back over these guys. So I have Katherine McNamara at 5'5", 23 years of age. I have Madeline Petch, 5'6", 24 years of age. I have Anna Kendrick, 5'2", 33 years of age. I have Jane Levy, 5'2", 29 years of age. There we go. Get through the tweets. Ashley Green, we have 5'5", 32 years of age, and she's kind of my underdog pick that I think would be probably the best of the people I don't see getting cast in this role very often. But I think she would be epic, and she knows the role. And then after Ashley Green, we have Hayden Panettiere, 5'0" and 29 years old. So then those are my picks there. So now let's get into the bonus picks. I want you guys to let me know what you think about my top 6, but then also we're going to go through a list of 4 actresses I think would be really good for the role anyway. So let's get into it. First up on my bonus pick list is Blake Lively, 5'10", 31 years of age. Now this one's awesome because first of all, I really like Blake Lively. She's my wife's favorite actress. She is an incredible actress. If you've seen The Shallows, Age of Adeline, Gossip Girl, A Simple Favor, she's the best part of all of those things, obviously. And she's married to Ryan Reynolds, who is currently Deadpool, in the Marvel Universe. But if you were to cast Blake Lively as Batgirl, she would probably be the most charming and the best suited for a love story. Like if you were going to tease her and Nightwing and they were kind of together but maybe not together, like she's the queen of drama that like draws you in. Like I'm not even into drama really. I'm kind of like a dude's dude. I like action stuff, and my wife is, you know, she likes some action, but she likes a lot of the drama stuff. And Blake Lively is the greatest like charmer of all time for ladies. I think she's basically America's sweetheart actress right now. And she is 5'10", 31 years of age. So she's a little bit taller. She's basically, I think she's the same height as Scott Adkins. So she is a little bit taller, but and 31 would make her a little bit older, so she'd be closer to the older picks for Nightwing, but that would also give her, you know, a little bit more youth than I would say like Anna Kendrick even, who's 33 years of age. So she's kind of like in that middle, a little bit on the taller side, but that would help her if she's going to be fighting crime. If you want her to look physically imposing or believable, if she's going to be beating up dudes, you probably want a little bit more size on your hero. So a few inches in height would probably be helpful. Give her a little bit more of a Wonder Woman feel. So let's get into some of these images. So I wanted to show you guys, she's been cast at, fan cast. She's been fan cast by Boss Logic as Black Canary. Now, even though that did not happen, that would have been perfect. But I do think that even if you're not going to go with her as Black Canary, which is a total shame, she would have been amazing for that role. Also, Katherine Winnick would have been perfect for that, but nevertheless, this is, again, her as Black Canary. Not a lot of fan casting for her as Batgirl. However, if we go like this, I'm going to show you red hair. So she has more of a strawberry blonde kind of red hair whenever you see her with red hair, or it's editing. A lot of the time you'll find edits of her with red hair more than her actually having red hair. But because she is a blonde. Nevertheless, she would be able to rock the look of Batgirl like hard. She'd be doing it some serious justice. She'd be able to rock the costume. She has a similar facial structure to like the armored Arkham Knight, like the same one as Ashley Greene or Anna Kendrick. A little bit of a longer face rather than say someone like Jane Levy or a couple of the other people I haven't listed yet in my bonus picks who don't have as much of a long face. They have a little bit more of a round or shorter face. So I do think that she would have the look down of a little bit more mature Batgirl. And so if you're going to go with slightly older for your Nightwing, you should go slightly older with your Batgirl. And I think that someone like Anna Kendrick, someone like Ashley Greene, or Blake Lively would be a great choice for these. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Blake Lively. So that's my first of the bonus picks. Next up, we have Emma Stone. So she's one of the people that doesn't have a very long face. However, there's plenty of fan casting for her. She is 5'6", good middle height, and 30 years old, good middle age. So she could play a 20-something-year-old Batgirl, believably, and she could also play a Batgirl in her 30s, believably. She's also, 5'6", which puts her at a little bit taller than a lot of the picks on my list, but not as tall as, say, Blake Lively. I think she's the same height as Madeline Petch, so that would be one inch taller than Kat McNamara and Ashley Greene. So yeah, she would be really, really good height-wise. Very neutral height, very neutral age, which is a safe bet for both. And she's already naturally a redhead. So let's continue forward, and I'll show you a lot of these fan castings. So you can see side-by-side images of her all day long. Everybody has looked at her for this role, but there's also a lot of really good art for this one as well. So you can see this one. It says, "I started a joke," haha, with the Riddler's question mark there. Kind of alluding to more of a DCEU feel, because they use that song "I Started a Joke" in the trailer for Suicide Squad, and then they did that in Batman vs Superman, and the same art with the question mark as well. You can see here they have Emma Stone, very nice. I love this art right here. It's very clean. You can see it very, very nicely, and I think they got the dimensions correct. They got the size correct for putting the face in the armor, which is really good. This one as well, it's kind of blurry because they did it so small, and I think that the shadowing is not the same as the armor, but that's okay. It's very difficult to do that when you're just trying to grab images, but nevertheless, here's one outside of the mask, and I think it looks really cool. I think it looks really good. So I think her as Batgirl, now again, she's a very, very talented actress. She might not be the prettiest of the actresses on this list, but that's not that big a deal. She's got big eyes, red hair, very similar face shape to this right here, and I think that she would do a good job. So if you guys like this, if you like this fan casting, let me know. I think it would be a very safe bet to bring some powerful talent like Emma Stone into your movie. It would draw a lot of people because they recognize the name, and also she's 30 years old and 5'6", so a safe height to go with basically any male actors who are going to be there as well. And then also 5'6" is, 30 years old is a good neutral height, because she could play someone that is a little bit younger, or she could play someone that is a little bit older. not a big deal. She'd be very flexible in that way. So that's my second. So next up on the list, we have Lacey Chabert. So this is one that's a little bit outside the box. I have found no fan art for this one. I would have had to do the fan art myself. I'm not that good at it, but I do my best. So 5'3". She's short, but not as short as like Jane Levy, Anna Kendrick, or I'm sorry, who is the where was the 5 foot nothing? Oh yeah, Hayden Panettiere, that was it. She's 36 years old, so this makes her the oldest on my list. She is older by 1 year already than what I expect Barbara Gordon to be in the DCEU. DCEU Barbara Gordon's probably somewhere between 22 years old and 35. I know that's a big window, but that gives you room to assume the age of Batman when he takes Dick Grayson in as basically his adopted son. So in those years, Batman could have been 25, he could have been 35. We don't know when he took in Nightwing. So I gave a bit of a wide gap to cast these guys, but also I allowed the upper age range just in case you wanted a Damian Wayne that is already something like 16, 17, as opposed to 8, 9, or 10. See what I mean? So like if you want context for all of the different Robins, you have to leave room for them to be within the ballpark to be appropriate age ranges with each other, respectively. So she would be the oldest of my list, but I still think that she is good. Mean Girls, she's hilarious. Party of Five, Daddy Daycare, Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. She's a really talented actress emotionally, but she's also hilarious. So she would be able to be very snarky, sarcastic, even if she was coming in not as an action star, if she was someone that wasn't going to be Batgirl per se, but more Oracle, she would be someone that would be really good for being that person in the ear, in the comm with Dick Grayson. So here's an image of her. I wanted to show you guys kind of a side-by-side. This is, well, not really a side-by-side because I couldn't pull that up, but she does look a little bit like the image of Barbara Gordon here. Similar kind of face shape a little bit. You might not see it as much as I see it. I think that Lacey Green is obviously prettier than Oracle Barbara Gordon. But I think that she would be a really good choice for that. She's a talented actress. She's very likable, and I think that she wouldn't. If you were going to go with someone that was just going to be Barbara Gordon in the wheelchair, post Joker and Backbreak, then I think that Lacey Chabert would be a really good option. So again, she is the oldest on my list, which is not a plus, but I think if you're going to have someone that is already pretty old playing Nightwing, you could pair them pretty easily. Because she does look very youthful. It's very hard to tell what her actual age is just by looking at her. I had to Google it. And so, yeah, she looks like she could be someone in her late 20s, not as opposed to being in her mid or later 30s. So that's all I had to say there. Let me know what you think about Lacey Chabert down below. So lastly on the list, technically number 10, Karen Gillan, 31 years old, 5'11". So this makes her the tallest on my list, which I see as both a plus and a minus because, if she's going to be really, really tall, it's going to be difficult to make the guys around her look super big or macho. I mean, obviously they're going to have wider, broader shoulders, stronger builds, but her being 31, she's in a good age to play Barbara Gordon, but she's also a solid height if you're going to give her her own film. You know what I mean? So if she's going to do a standalone, then yeah, Karen Gillan's a good choice because she is taller. She's no stranger to action. She was in Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Avengers, Infinity War, Guardians of the Galaxy. She plays Nebula. So if you guys didn't recognize her, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of these images. But this lassie here has been fan casted to play Batgirl. A lot of people have been seeing the same thing that I have. I think that she would do really well in the role. She looks very much like the part. She does have a little bit more of like smoother facial features, not as sharp as some of the depictions of Batgirl, but that's okay. I think that if you're going to this one, it's not. I thought this thing wasn't loading, but it's naturally blurry. So that's my bad. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can find a decent image here. Karen Gillan. Here you go. Yeah, I think she looks like a Barbara Gordon. She looks like she could pull that off, and she would be very ready for the role, especially coming if she's not going to make it through Endgame, and that's like the end of the line for Nebula. Then I think that it would be really good to just, hey, DC, let's have Karen Gillan swing over this way and play Batgirl. I think that she would be a really good choice. My hesitation is that 5'11" is pretty tall for a lady, and I think that it would be difficult for any director to do a collaboration of her and Nightwing and all the different Robins, and still make her feel like more feminine and the dude's more masculine if she's going to be bigger than some of the Pics for the other guys. Although that in and of itself could help maybe like the younger, like Damian and Tim, feel younger as well, because they would be smaller probably. So yeah, I think there's upsides and downsides to all of it, but I think that, yeah, she would do a really good job. So that is it. That is my entire list. I know this, I tried to get through this as fast as I can, but I get off on tangents and rabbit trails and stuff like that. So let me see if I can get through some of this. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way over my list. That way you guys can get one final look at all of my actors and actresses. I'm sorry, just actresses. Yes, so first up is Katherine McNamara, 23 years of age, 5'5". Next up is Madeline Pesh, 24 years of age, 5'6". Next on the list, Anna Kendrick, 33 years old, 5'2". Jane Levy, 29 years old, 5'2". Ashley Green, 32 years old, 5'5". Hayden Panettiere, 29 years old, 5 foot nothing. Blake Lively, 31 years old, 5'10". Emma Stone, 30 years old, 5'6". Lacey Chabert, 36 years old, 5'3". And lastly, Karen Gillan, 31 years old, 5'11". So that is it. That is my entire list for Barbara Gordon Batgirl in the DCEU. You guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys will let me know down in the comments below who your favorite actress is to play Barbara Gordon in the DCEU. And also, which one on my list did you like the best? Which ones did you think did not work at all? And then, is there someone that I missed? Is there an actress that you like for the role that I didn't think of? Please let me know down below so that we can have that conversation. I love doing these things with you guys, talking about it, fan casting. And also make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on the notifications bell after you've subscribed. That way you guys can join me in the lives and you guys can be a part of these videos just like Hunter Iggy was. He was leaving comments. I'm grateful for those. Thank you for leaving those. And we can talk about things. You can ask me questions about the fan castings, what I think about Sophie Turner, for instance, who's not on my list, but we were able to discuss because those comments came in. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching, clicking, sharing these videos. It means a lot to me. I'm really grateful to have crossed the 210 subscriber mark, and everything you guys have been doing for me as far as likes, watch time, and shares and stuff. You guys are the bomb. Love you guys. Like you guys more than a friend. A little bit less than a lover, but it's okay. So you guys, thank you. You guys stay tuned for more right here on The Stuff of Legend.